When we first were hit by COVID 2 years ago, what was the first response? We closed the border. That is almost the same as doing your perimeter security. And you block everything and you cocoon up and you trust whoever that's inside the cocoon. But as we develop, we need to interact. We need to progress with life, right?
Okay, so what I wanted to know that with remote working becoming a new normal for many employees around the globe, like we know, providing a secure working environment became one of the key issues for companies. Would you be generous enough, would you be kind enough to share some tips to guide our audiences and our viewers in implementing a cybersecure hybrid working environment to safeguard against rapidly growing ransomware, like we were talking, attacks? And what would be the first steps, if I have to ask you, for a SMB to start their journey to become cyber secure here?
Okay, so we talk about zero trust. Let me draw an analogy. When we first were hit by COVID 2 years ago, what was the first response? We closed the border. That is almost the same as doing your perimeter security. And you block everything and you cocoon up and you trust whoever that's inside the cocoon. But as we develop, we need to interact. We need to progress with life, right? So slowly we open up. We have VTL. What does VTL mean? VTL means if you are vaccinated, you can come over. So that is a secure channel. Then we progress now to accepting that it's endemic. Then you will now make sure that, first of all, you yourself as an individual is protected. You put on your mask, you wash your hands regularly, you sanitize your hands, you make sure you have that safety distance. So that brings to the individual. So the same concept being transplanted to an IT environment. The initial response from a lot of companies has always been to build the perimeter security. But as I've explained to you, a lot companies need to interact with one another to get the business going these days. They cannot do their IT in isolation anymore, which means you got to pull that back to the same concept we are implementing the COVID defense now. You start with the individual, which is your device. And that will be the endpoint security you put onto your device, be it your laptop, your PC, or even your mobile phone. So securing the device is the first thing. You also need to secure your device in the cloud or in the data center. And the next thing, you provide that conduit, the secure conduit, which is where VPN comes in and all that. Right? And especially when you're working from home, you can imagine the connection from the data center all the way. It's like a spider web of tentacles reaching to the home. And anywhere along this, you're traveling through a lot of unknowns. And therefore, it is important that you establish a secure channel. So these are ways that if you draw from the physical world and you pull back and explain that concept, understanding to the IT world, and then it's quite clear what it should be doing. So for the SMB, the first thing they need to do, of course, secure the device. And that's not just the device in your hands, it's also the device in the cloud, the device in the data center, depending on whether they are. Right? The important thing for a lot of SMB, when they outsource, they keep thinking that the security is someone else's problem. It's not. If there's a compromise, they are the one explaining to the customer, not the provider. Right? So they need to ensure the security. If they need to, ask what the providers are doing to secure their environment. Sometimes it comes with extra charges, and it's well worth to take note of those things. Okay? So back to the first principle, protect the items, the devices, the servers, secure the channel, right? And then make sure you secure the data as well. Make sure the data is safe. So these are the 3 key steps they need to do, right? And last and most important of all is a self-discipline. They need to understand, they need to maintain that discipline. It's just like maintaining a discipline or putting on a mask. Yeah? You fall back on a discipline, you stand the risk. And that's life.